Sometimes on the news, we hear about policies made through executive orders. But what are executive orders and how do they work? An executive order is a directive handed down from a president or state governor without involvement from the legislative or judicial branches. Executive orders can only be given to federal or state agencies like the Department of Homeland Security or the State Department. Even though executive orders are not mentioned in the Constitution, they've been used by every president since George Washington, and more often during times of war or during national disasters when government policy needs to work more quickly than the traditional legislative process. Sometimes the Supreme Court has stepped in to rein back presidential powers, like when Harry Truman tried to use executive orders to have the government seize America's steel plants in the 50s. Presidents have used executive orders to make policy that circumvents congressional control. In recent years, George W. Bush used executive orders to approve more aggressive surveillance after 9/11, and President Obama has used them for several things, including immigration reform. Some fear that their increased use threatens the long-standing checks and balances set up in the Constitution. In that system, Congress makes the laws. The courts interpret the laws, and the president and the executive branch enforces the law. So the next time you hear a president is issuing an executive order, it really means one person is making a decision for 322 million Americans without input from Congress, state legislators, or courts, and it can be just as easily changed by the next president with the stroke of a pen and no input from anyone else. To learn more, go to informationstation.org.